What's going on, Jerome's? Beautiful Saturday. Birds are chirping and stuff, and it's time for another Vikings news dump on this wonderful Saturday. So, first up, some free agent deals are getting done, especially players who were franchise tagged. We saw Jaylon Johnson on Thursday. Justin Madubuike got paid on Friday. Schefter go. Another deal, Ravens are signing franchise defensive tackle Justin Madubuike to a 4-year, $98 million deal, just shy of $25 million per. That includes $75.7 million total in guarantees and $53.5 million at signing per sources. So, big time deal, massive, huge. Now, how does this affect the Vikings? Well, first off, would have loved to sign Madubuike if he would hit an open free agency, but Christian Wilkins. So, of course, the ties of Christian Wilkins, he and Flores, Vikings definitely have a need at a defensive tackle, especially one who can get after the quarterback. And Christian Wilkins is a great leader, had himself a breakout season. His final year, playing out his fifth-year option with the Dolphins, is going to get paid. Now, Jason, over the cap. This probably bumps Christian Wilkins' asking price to well over $25 million per year. Now, a lot of people point out, well, Christian Wilkins is older and hasn't had a good production at Justin Madubuike. Doesn't matter. It does not matter. Now, Madubuike was on his franchise tag, and he could have just took that and tried to hit open free agency next year, but it's a whole bird in hand situation where if Madubuike had hit open free agency, he probably would have got $26-27 million per year, but the fact that he was staring at either taking the deal from the Ravens or going on the franchise tag, I mean, it lowered his numbers. So it would have been more if he would have hit the open market. And Wilkins is hitting the open market, so that does increase things. And is Madubuike a better player than Christian Wilkins? Yes, slightly, but it really doesn't matter. Open markets, lots of teams bidding on him, is going to drive up the price. So it wouldn't shock me at all if he does crest 25-26 million per year. Spot Rack estimated him at 20.2. This was even before the jump in the salary cap. So this is obviously going to be low. But if the Vikings want to get their guy, they're going to have to spend up. And, of course, with the structure, they can make this thing work, even bring it back to Neal or Kirk Cousins. But Wilkins, I would love to have Wilkins, man. He would be the crown jewel of the Vikings defensive free agent class. I would love to go get him. Speaking of Kirko, so I've hit the wall. Like, I can't wait until Monday at 11 a.m. Central Time, the only time zone that matters, so we can actually find out if Kirk's going to be here or gone or whatever. But reportedly, allegedly, per Jeremy Fowler, ESPN, some things may be getting complicated. So the Purple Persuasion put this together. Could the Falcons be getting cold feet? According to Jeremy Fowler, the Falcons have made a budgetary decision and are unsure if they want to go out to that stratosphere to pay Kirk Cousins, where Justin Fields or Baker Mayfield would be cheaper. Now, Baker's estimated in the $30-35 million a year range. Cousins probably in the $40-45-50 million a year range. And the Vikings have been very clear about their stance, where it's just like last offseason. Hey, Kirk, this is what we're offering, and take it or leave it. And I respect that Kwesi's playing a little bit hardball with Kirk. And the Falcons have to realize that they're the only team in the race, because the Vikings aren't going to be pushed around. They aren't going to raise their bid. Kirk's agent, for once, isn't going to be able to leverage the Vikings. And who else is going to give Kirk big-time money? So I could see the Falcons just being like, hey, man, we would love to have you here. We know that your wife is from Georgia, blah, 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 blah. But we don't want to go over X number of dollars, whether it's $45 million per year, or maybe they don't want to get into the future guaranteed years as well, for the same reasons the Vikings don't necessarily want to, because of the Achilles and because of the age. So, I mean, Kirk might be between a rock and a hard place, because the Falcons, they got the cap space, and for all the reasons, like, Kirk Cousins with those weapons and Raheem Morris's defense, and all of a sudden the Falcons are contenders. Blah, 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 blah. But I don't know. Like, everything is speculation and smoke and mirrors right now. But it would kind of be great. It would kind of be great if Kirk has his feelings hurt by the Vikings and he just leaves for a smallish contract from the Falcons, because he doesn't have a lot of leverage, but they're the only game in town. It would be weird, man. It would be weird. Something that is also weird is, of course, Marcus Davenport, the big-time free agent, $13 million. So when people complain about some of the free agent contracts that are going to be bandied about, or if the Vikings decide to pay a running back like Derrick Henry, $8, $9, $10 million per year, it always comes back to, hey, paid Marcus Davenport $13 million for like 3 games of participation. Good times, man. But also, on top of stealing $13 million, Davenport and his signing factored into the compensatory pick formula from last free agency period, and it cost the Vikings some potential draft picks this year. So they announced the compensatory picks yesterday. Vikings got nada. But you look at the formula. So this is from Over the Cap. They do a good job approximating because the formula is proprietary, but Over the Cap does a good guesstimation. So Diesel Dalvin Tomlinson would have been a 4th rounder back by losing him in free agency. Also, we'll talk about him because Diesel had a void contract as well. Patrick Peterson signed with the Steelers, but we'll also talk about him in a sec. That would have netted the Vikings a 5th round pick. Now Byron Murphy coming aboard, that canceled out at a 5th round level, and then Davenport came aboard and canceled out a 5th round level as well. Oliver and Lowry were 6th and 7th respectively. They didn't factor into the formula, but basically, if the Vikings hadn't signed Marcus Davenport, they probably would have gotten a 4th round compensatory pick because of the loss of Diesel Dalvin Tomlinson. So not only DeMarcus Davenport steal $13 million, he stole a 4th round draft pick, which is just fantastic. It's great. He's literally a Batman villain. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. So speaking of Diesel Dalvin, like we said, he factored into the compensatory pick formula, even though he had a void year contract. So there's a lot of questions. Like, well, since Kirk and Daniil and Davenport, technically their contracts are being voided, does that mean that they are technically being cut so that they would not be a CFA, a compensatory formula free agent? But no. They will count towards the formula, so wherever they sign, that will be taken into account because, like we said, Diesel Dalvin had one last year, and technically, if there are years remaining on the contract, then that counts. But with the void year contract, technically there isn't actually active years. There's void years, and there is a difference. So it is no muss, no fuss. Also, if you turn on like an option year, that counts as a cut versus a player that would count to the formula. It really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. But Kirk's going to get paid. Daniil's going to get paid. Davenport might finesse the team. Who really knows? Reisner may get paid somewhere else too. So the Vikings, depending on what they do in open free agency, I mean, they may be set up pretty good because Kirk will probably be a 3. Daniil will probably be a 3 easily. And the Vikings, I mean, part of this is I don't want the team not to spend just because they're trying to play the compensatory pick formula game because it's a year down the line. Also, it's only 3rd round picks or later, so who really cares? But I mean, if the Vikings decide to go hog wild in free agency, picking up Christian Wilkins, picking up Jerome Baker, picking up going after L'Jarius Sneed, why the hell not? Although he wouldn't count because that would technically be a trade. Doesn't matter, but like I said, it's nice to get comp picks, but it's not the be-all, end-all. Something that's also not the be-all, end-all is Mac Jones. Who? Mac Jones. Because remember when he came into the league, 2021, he was supposed to be the cat's ass. By the way, the 2021 draft class, so Trevor Lawrence, Fields, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Mac Jones. Great job, everyone. Fantastic. But Mac Jones, rap sheet. The Patriots appear open to trading Mac Jones, and teams have been calling and doing work on the former starter, sources say. With the new coaching staff, a fresh start may make sense for all sides. And Mac Jones, did come in and was a first-round pick and was a rookie starter. Got benched a couple times in year 2 and 3 for Bailey Zappi. But I don't know. Oh, by the way, he was a Pro Bowler in 2021. Isn't that crazy? All right, but 8,900 career yards passing through 3 seasons, 46 to 36 touchdown interception ratio, 85.9, 85.8 quarterback rating. I'm not in, right? So the Patriots are going to turn the page, and the Patriots have the number 3 overall pick. They're probably going to take a quarterback in all likelihood, but Mac Jones. So Mac Jones. Again, the benefit that you have of a young quarterback is him being on his rookie deal, and he's headed into year 4. I mean, you could pick up his 5th year option, but you're not going to do that. So you basically only get 1 year of cheap labor out of him. And for all of the talk, like Mac Jones, he stares down receivers. Yes. Does he struggle with ball placement at times? Yes. Is he a bad teammate? You could debate that. Sure. And I don't know, this doesn't have to be kumbaya, but honestly, talent trumps everything. So if Patrick Mahomes was an absolute a-hole and a terrible teammate, you would still put up with him. But if a player of Mac Jones' caliber, not saying that he is, but if a player of Mac Jones' caliber was an a-hole and a bad teammate, you ain't going to put up with it. No, so the juice is not worth the squeeze here. I'm not, even though the Vikings have 7 day 3 selections, 2 fourths, 2 fifths, and 2 sixths, and a 7th, I'm not giving up any draft capital for Mac Jones. No, screw that noise. Like, I'd rather just sign Sam Darnold in open free agency. I feel like they're equivalent. I think Darnold actually has a higher ceiling, but I mean, Mac Jones, do you see him turning into a top 10 starting quarterback? No. And also, I love those video compilations of Mac Jones potentially being a dirty player. It's actually really hilarious, man. Really circumstantial, but it is pretty, well, it's not even circumstantial, but yeah. But no on Mac Jones. Also no on reunion with Patrick Peterson. So Schefter, Steelers are releasing 8-time Pro Bowl cornerback Patrick Peterson per sources. So Peterson, I mean, played 2 good solid seasons here with the Vikings. Thought that they may run it back this year, but he decided to leave. Vikings didn't bring him back, and he signed a pretty decent deal with the Steelers, but definitely was showing his age. Yeah, it just, I mean, I just can't see a reunion. I mean, the Vikings have done everything that they can the last couple off seasons by trimming some of these veterans and getting young guys in there. And it just doesn't make sense. Plus, I think Patrick Peterson might retire. Like, I don't think that he is going to have the. I don't think he's going to take a league minimum deal somewhere. I just don't see it. I think that's where we're currently at. But should be a future Hall of Famer, very easily so. So love to see that. Lastly. So this is great. Daniel Jeremiah, Move the Sticks, former NFL scout, NFL Network. He's fantastic. I've struggled to come up with a comp for Michael Penix. This one is best I've come up with. Sam Bradford, similar frame, excellent arms, and durability concerns. Now, we've actually said that a couple times before, where Penix is basically left-handed Sam Bradford, southpaw Sammy Sleeves, because you have the knee concerns, Bradford, and shoulder concerns. Bradford had knee and shoulder concerns coming out of Oklahoma, but that arm, man, that arm. And also, they kind of look like mirror images, where Bradford is sort of thin frame, sinewy. Also, he has that like 3/4 release, sort of Phillip Riversy. But that ball exploded out of Sam Bradford's hands. Same thing with Michael Penix Jr., man. And I think that Penix is going to have a Bradford-type career, where obviously he's not going to be the number 1 overall pick, but is he a first-rounder? Back in the first round, top in the second round? Sure. Does he struggle to stay healthy like Bradford did? But, man, if Bradford would have stayed healthy, he would have been a dude. Because I remember, the 2017 season with Keenum was fantastic, but you forget, week 1 against the Saints, Sam Bradford was dropping dimes. Like some of the best throws I've ever seen a Vikings quarterback make, and he was fearless. Same thing with Penix Jr. Like, he will thread a needle. He has the arm. He has the confidence to do it, and I'm still in on Penix Jr. I know the medicals are a gamble, and that has to be taken into account. Plus, he's an older prospect, but it's a lot like Sam Bradford, man. And there's a reason why teams kept taking chance on Bradford, because of that arm, man. So there you go. Anyways, that's it. That is the Saturday Vikings news dump on this wonderful day. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skol, production value.